Hello students and welcome back to the video lecture series of software engineering. Today's topic is again project management concepts. So in the previous topic also we were discussing about the basics of project management. In this lecture we are going to continue the basic project management concept. I am your instructor Ms. Shruti Rawal. So let us start with today's lecture. So the things that we are going to discuss in today's lecture is the first thing is characteristic of a project manager. So in previous lecture we have already studied what are the different stakeholders in a software company. One of the important stakeholder is project manager. So who is project manager? Basically project manager is a person who is handling the project and he has a team of software developers, testers, even the team lead. And he has a basic responsibility to gel the team, to maintain the momentum of the team, to maintain the schedule of the team, to verify whether they are going according to the schedule or not, right? So but to do all this, the basic human resource management is to be needed. And so let us discuss what are the basic characteristics of a software project manager. The first characteristic is problem solving. Okay, because the junior level managers, it means the team leaders, also the junior level developers, they may get stuck at some point, right? So that point may be a technical point, that point may be somewhere near the schedule, right? So we have a very tight schedule and we are not able to cope up with the schedule, or there is a technical glitch, or the technology on which we are working is not familiar with the junior level developers. So any problem may arise while software development. But the basic characteristic of a project manager is to solve the problem. Okay, because he is a project manager, it is his responsibility that whatever the problem is, he must have solution, and not only one solution. As you can see, he must have alternative solutions, so that if one solution does not work, we may switch over to another solution. So this is a basic characteristic of project manager. The next characteristic which a project manager must possess is managerial identity. Now I personally believe that a good software developer is not necessarily a good project manager. Why? Because it is a possibility that he is very good at coding, he is very good at testing, he is very good at DevOps, but it is a possibility that he is not very good at managing the people. But if he wants to be a project manager, if he wants this post in the software company, he must have a distinct managerial ability, so that he may able to gel the team, he may able to motivate the team, he may able to give direction, that is right directions to the team. So that is sort of managerial identity, which is a by default human trait, or if you develop this trait over a period of time, you can be a project manager. The next important characteristic of project management, or you can say project manager, is achievement. Now what do you mean by achievement? Achievement, we are not talking about the achievement of project manager, we are talking about the achievement of the junior level managers and junior level developers. It means if the junior level developers are working very hard and if they are achieving something, your project manager must appreciate them, right? Because if the work, the hard work or the achievement of junior level developers is not appreciated, if their achievement is not seen, what will happen? They will lose the momentum, they will lose the actual motivation behind working hard, right? So due to this, they may be frustrated, and at the last your project may suffer. So this is also a very important characteristic of any project manager. The next characteristic of project manager is team building. Now it is a possibility that individual person in your team are extraordinary, but when they work together, that is a disaster. It is 100% a possibility that no two persons are gelling in your team. But it is the responsibility of a project manager to make sure that your team building is strong. So you have to basically make a team such that when they work with each other, they shine. Okay, so that is also one of the basic characteristic of project manager. The next characteristic of project manager is leadership. Now, not everybody has this leadership quality, right? I may be again a technical expert, and if I am assigned to be a project manager, it is a possibility that I am not a very good leader, because I don't know how to order, or I don't know how to tell people the things that I need to tell, right? So I don't have that leadership quality, and if I don't have a leadership quality, I am not a good project manager. Every project manager must possess this leadership quality, in which he or she needs to give order, but in a sophisticated way, such that the team always appreciates the effort of the project manager, and they actually get motivated to do more work. That is the leadership quality. Okay, the next characteristic of project manager is motivation. So this we have talked about, that if you are not motivating your junior level developers, what will happen? They will get frustrated because their work is not appreciated. How much they are working is not taken into consideration. So periodic motivation, such that you may give some sort of appraisal, you may give some sort of bonus. If anybody is performing very nicely, you may give some sort of memento, right? So these sort of motivation is highly needed in a frenzied atmosphere where you are working on a tight schedule with some of the peoples who you don't like, right? So that is very much needed quality of a project manager. All the team members should be equally motivated. Why? Because if you do biasness in motivating the people, then also you are not a good project manager. Even though you may have good personal relations with some of the team members and not very good personal relation with other, you must motivate every person equally, because that is needed for the success of our project. The next characteristic of project manager is innovation. Now we are talking about giving the freedom to our fellow members for innovation, right? It means that we know that we have a tight schedule, we know that there is a project deadline to be met, right? But still the junior developers are in a learning phase, they have some innovative ideas. It is a possibility, even in the tight schedule, that some of the innovation may be allowed. If you don't allow any innovative ideas, if you don't allow any freedom in your project, again the developers will feel like they are robots, they are only obeying your orders, right? So it is not a recommended team structure where innovation is totally absent. So innovative ideas to be freely flown in a team structure to a little bit extent is also recommended, and that is also one of the important trait of a project manager, right? So these were the different characteristic of project manager that has to be followed. And it is not a possibility that every characteristic is present in every project manager. There may be some plus and minus, but still these are the basic characteristic a project manager must follow. The next topic is, when can you say that your project may fail? Okay, so these are the conditions where you can say that your project may fail. The first of the reason where your software may fail is when you don't have the proper understanding of customer needs, right? So it means there is a basic problem in communicating with the customer. So the first phase, that is requirement analysis phase, is a disaster. It means whenever you are communicating with the customer, there should not be only one methodology in which you are communicating. Instead of that, you may have different modes of communication. Like for example, you are having a questionnaire, you are having a telephonic conversation, you are having a virtual meeting, you are having a physical meeting, and you are going through all the requirements many times, so that there is no miscommunication between customer and the developers, right? Because if there is not a proper understanding of what actually customer needs, your project is sure to fail. The next reason of project failure is when the product scope is poorly defined. Now this word, that is scope, I have discussed a number of times. So I have also told you that whenever you hear this word scope, please relate it with the word boundary, right? So scope, it means you have to define boundaries for your project, that what are the things that you are going to include in your project, and clearly you have to define what are the things that you are not going to include in your project. But instead, if your scope, it means your boundary of project is poorly defined, what will happen? The customer has an upper hand. He or she will say that this was in our scope and you have to implement this, even though you have not made your software architecture in such a way that some of the requirements may be accommodated. If your scope is poorly defined, you don't have any argument with the customer, right? So you have to implement that, you have to redo the architecture, which may further delay your project, which may compromise your quality, and at last your project may be a failure, right? The next reason for project failure is when your technology which you are developing changes continuously, because in software industry we are very well aware that technology is changing. So whatever technology you are working upon, if it changes and if it is obsolete, what will happen? Obviously there is a chance that your project may fail. The next is business needs change. Now when you were starting to develop this project, there was a business need for this particular product, but eventually your product is not completed, but the business changes, right? The need of that product is no longer in market. So what will happen? Obviously if there is no need of the product and still you are developing the product, your product is a failure, right? So if the business needs changes, there is no possibility of having a successful project. What you may do, whenever you are developing a product, at the start you have to check for sustainability. Sustainability, it means whatever product you are going to develop, will it sustain in near future or not, so that you know that business need is not going to change. If you have done such sort of research, then you will not have to face such kind of a scenario. The next project failure reason is when there are unrealistic deadlines, right? So if the next project failure reason is unrealistic deadline. It means when you have a very tight deadline, or whenever the customer is requesting a large scale project in very short time, and if you have still taken this project assuring that we will deliver the project in time, so whenever there are unrealistic deadline, it is a possibility that your project may fail. The next reason for project failure is when the sponsorship is lost. So when there is a monetary trouble, whenever you are developing a product, and if you have the sponsorship for that product resources, and if you have lost all the sponsorship, then obviously you don't have any money. So the project, even though if you are completing the project, you are not in the monetary benefit, so that means your project is a failure. The next reason for project failure is when your team is lacking appropriate skill. So that skill may be the technical skill, again that skill may be the managerial skill, that skill may be any of the skill that is required for software development. If your team is lacking that skill, and if your team is not even listening, or they are not learning those skills which they are lacking, then it is obviously going to be a disaster. And the last reason for project failure is when the managers avoid best practices. So we have already studied that what are the basic characteristics of the project manager. The first thing that project manager should follow is all these characteristics, right? Also there are basic best practices which has to be followed while managing the team. If they are not following those best practices, then also your project may be a failure, right? For example, if you have automation tools, if the people are very well versed about the automation tools for testing, let's say an example, testing tools are available and testing can be done automatically, right? But still you are not using that automatic tools, what will happen? Your project will delay because all the testing is done manually, and this may be a reason for project failure. So whatever best practices are available, you should follow, right? Now, what is the approach that you have to take if you want to avoid these project failures? The first thing is you have to start on the right foot. It means if the starting of your project is perfect, then all the following process activities will go smoothly. That is the basic thing. It means if the requirements are clear, if your communication with the customer is clear, if your sustainability view is clear, if your budget is clear, then it means you are starting on the right foot, right? The next is maintain the momentum. Once you have started on the right foot, you have the team which is very highly motivated, which is doing very hard work. But if they are not maintaining the momentum till last, what will happen? If the momentum drops drastically in between the software development life cycle, it is a possibility that your project may still fail. So it is very necessary to maintain the momentum which was in the starting of your project, right? The next is track the progress. Why we need to track the progress? Because it is a possibility that initially when you were developing the software, everything is going smoothly and everything is going as planned. But during the course of development, there may be some changes which the customer has requested. There may be some changes in the planning, that is in the scheduling, in the budget. Are we maintaining the momentum or the progress or the quality that was initially or not? How will we get this data? That is by tracking the progress, right? The next is make smart decisions. So I've already told you, like for example, if you have the automation tools, if you have the case tools with you, if the people are aware how to use the case tool, use them. If you're not using them, you're not making smart decisions. So whenever it is required, you have to make the smart decisions. You have this chance for reusability, then you have to reuse the code, right? So that is making a smart decision. And the last is conduct a post-mortem analysis. It means once you are finalizing the project, you are deploying the project, you have to do the post-mortem analysis that how did we develop this project, what were the shortcomings, what were the benefits, right? So this is known as a post-mortem analysis. This you can do after every process activity is completed, that is every framework activity is completed. Also you may do this post-mortem analysis at the very end of your project. In this way, all the future project may also get benefit from this sort of analysis, right? So these are some of the ways in which you can avoid the project to be a failure. Okay, so this was all about today's lecture. Thank you.